Second it open. Hello. Hello. Holla, holla. Holla, holla. No? Is it working for you guys? If you can hear me, say, I can hear you, Mr. Lion Ting. Can you hear me? Someone tell me Mr. Lion Ting. It's not working. Is it working for you all? No. Someone say Mr. Lion Ting and then I'll know it's definitely working. There we go, Mr. Lion Ting. There we go. Cheers, Chris. Cheers, Andy. Cheers, Mandy. Wicked. It's working. Oh, right, okay. Right, you guys can hear me, can't you? Try again. I'll just try and refresh the link. Right, Holly's just on her MacBook. She's going to admin this, so going to just... not working. Trust it not to work, eh? Well, let's see if I can sort this out. Right. Try... I don't know how to send it. I can't send it, y'all. This is what I was trying to say. Oh, hang on. Send email. Check your email. Check our email, yeah? I'm sending both. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this.
Technical issue.
What, is that what it's saying?
No.
Oh. Oh, right. Okay, right. So fingers crossed. It's not working for James. All good. There's a secret wealth project in the background. Very good point, James. Very good point. Can't hear me. Really? Right. Now, people have got to be straight with me here. Tickety-boo. Right. Stuart says tickety-boo. John says working. Sounds fine. Adam. Wendy can hear me. Okay. Right. So, really, the only question is, can you get in there, Hol? Still no. You tried the links?
I've not tried the presenter one, but the moderator doesn't work.
Right, okay. Well, we'll give it a couple more minutes anyway, because I've only just opened the room, so fingers crossed we can get it all sorted while more people come in. That's strange. That's really strange. Can you log into my Webinarjam account? Have you got the login details? In fact, just grab my phone on. The login details are in there. Maybe you'll be able to sort it out without killing the room. Right, okay, so before we get started, guys, whoever can't hear, click reconnect at the bottom. Okay, that's a cool tip. Thanks for that, Erica. Right, whoever, 1 second. One thing I do want to do, a couple of people are left already. Thanks a lot. Mind you, they might be reconnected. We've got 120-ish people in here so far. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, but something I want to check first, see if you guys can see this. So hang on, entire screen. So let's see if you can see this. Right, so I can't see you guys, but I'm hoping you can see a big black screen saying Secret Wealth Project and the YouTube. So just let me know if you can see it, and presumably you need to be able to see it, or it should say YouTube in the top right corner and it should say Secret Wealth Project in the middle. Let me know if you can see that. In fact, I'll go to slide number 1, okay, which is how to make money on Amazon and crush it this Q4, okay? Can you see that okay or not? Let me know. Wow, this has slowed down my computer. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? Because I can't see me, I can't see you guys. All I can see is my screen. So let's, huh?
I can't sort this out until you.
Till I what? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Try now.
Where are they?
Photos. It's in my photos. Right. Did you guys see it? So can see slide and hear you. Can see here fine. Can't see you. We hear you and we see it. Okay, right. Hang on. So hang on. Right. There we go. I'm back. So everything's working for Ashley. Okay, so who have we got in here? Before we get started, who have we got in here? And where are you from? Are we just Brits? What we got? South Sea, Stuart. We've got Edinburgh, Lithuania, France, Glasgow. Wow, it's moving too fast. Morocco, London, which I am, yeah, London. Oldham, Nottingham, whoop, Selby, Becky from Ohio. Wow, I'm liking this. I'm liking the international flavour. Northern Ireland, Turkey, Spain. Wow. I kind of expected it to be a UK thing. Maryland, US, Jamaica. Now I think people are making this up. Are you all legit? Brighton. We've got quite a few people in here. Okay. Mars. Yeah, I think that one's genuine. My mum and dad. Right. Are you guys in? No. They're unable to get in there.
I have no idea what.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. I'll tell you what then. I've just literally just got to wait for Holly to do this. Does it tell you how many people are in here? Yeah, it does. I need a tea now to have to see yours. Get one down here. Abdella wants to be successful. She or he is ready for 7 figures. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't realise you guys could see it too. Yeah, 131. 352 people registered, so there's some part-timers in here. What tea brand? The best tea brand, right? And this is not a geographical thing. If it was called something else, I would still say it was the best tea brand, okay? It's Yorkshire tea, okay? Yorkshire tea. And that's not because I'm from Yorkshire, I'm not. But Yorkshire tea is the best. Simple as. Tetley's is no good. Tetley's is bad. Portsmouth tea. I'm not a tea fan. Ollie got me into tea. Are we in? Are you in?
No, just give me a minute.
Okay. Terrible connection. Oh, sorry, Rob. Sorry to hear that. I'm going to record it, although it's looking like 10 minutes of me just talking about tea. So, organic Earl Grey, I'm not that advanced. I'm really not that advanced. Who does?
Your mum.
My mum does. Peppermint, chamomile, wow, that's advanced. I'm not into that lifestyle. I'm into Monster. I'm a slurper as well. Can't be better slurping. I don't even like the smell of coffee, Helen. I definitely can't drink coffee. You actually said my hometown, you're real and not a robot. Awesome. What do you mean? Trust me, if I could be a robot right now, I would be a robot. Trust me. I'm obsessed with robots. Been obsessed with robots for a long time. But I'm not a robot. I'm all real. Beer. Craig says beer.
Right.
Yeah, Jay, that's fine, mate. That's all right. Ooh. Hang on, you're logging in, I think, Hol.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. Someone's logging in. It's okay if you are.
I don't want to be on it.
No, but it's okay if you are.
You'll be able to see up my nose.
That's all right.
Got a funny position.
Got a nice nose. Is anyone else having issues with the audio, Kelly says? We are meeting at Starbucks and you don't like coffee. That's right, David. I don't like coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Well,
It might not be. Oh, no, yeah, it's not you. Here we go.
or can you get rid of it?
Yeah, I've got rid of it. Audio's fine. Audio's good. Problems for me. Looks like a mixed bag here, guys. We'll have to just do our best.
Yeah,
Simon's got problems.
well.
Are they in now? Yeah, okay. Right. We're getting close. We're getting close, guys. I'm sorry about this little delay. I suppose I should have came on 10 minutes before, really, so it didn't delay us after this. Video fine, audio's fine for most people. Right, Simon, if you click, there should be a reconnect button somewhere down at the bottom. If you click that, it might fix it. What for you? No worries. Yeah, it's going to be live. Yeah. How long will it take, Matt? This webinar? I don't know. If I said an hour, it'll be an hour and a half. If I say 45 minutes, it'll be an hour. I'm not sure. My intention is to probably be done by about 9 o'clock. So probably about 45 minutes from when we get started. So fingers crossed 9 o'clock. But there's going to be Q&A at the end. I like to answer most questions or all questions if I can. So Darren's in the Afghan mountains. You might struggle for signal there. Right, 138 people. That's okay. That's all right. To say it's a 6-week holiday, that's all right. You've not done bad, guys. I'm guessing you'll pick me up on a replay anyway. Right. Oh, wicked. Simon's sorted. Okay, so if you're having audio problems, if you're having video problems, then just click reconnect at the bottom. Okay, are you in now, Hol?
I can't see you, but I don't suppose that matters.
But you can see the chat and all that stuff. Right, okay, so Hol's going to admin this. We've got another admin in here as well. We've got a couple of admins, but yeah. So I'm not going to be able to see you guys' questions. Mandy's watching us from on holiday. She's abroad. I'm surprised you've got good enough internet, Mandy. Wherever I go abroad, the internet is just dreadful. Powered by Webinarjam and Yorkshire Tea. True. Darren's in Mallorca. I think Mandy might be in Mallorca as well. Right, so, okay, guys, I'm going to get started in a second. Thanks for bearing with me with the technical issues. We've got our 2 admins in here. One of them sat right there looking pretty. Almost as pretty as me. Almost. Right, so if you've got any questions, feel free to post them in the group. Holly is going to go through the questions and she's going to kind of note them down because I'm not going to be able to read a lot of the screen. I'm not going to try and read any of the screen. So I'm just going to let Holly do the questions and answers at the end or ask me questions and we'll both bounce off each other and stuff. That's a nice shirt. I assume you mean mine. What do you mean Holly's? Because you can't even see her shirt. Right. Okay. So going to get started now, guys. So thanks for bearing with me. Got 137 in the room. Right, let's do it. So we're going to talk about Q4, okay? So let me just go to screen sharing. So you're not going to be able to see my pretty face or Holly's little pretty face until after. But don't worry, at the end of this, there's going to be a Q&A. And I'm happy to hang around and do it. I've been looking forward to this webinar. I love doing webinars. I get like a nervous, tingly excitement every time I do one. I don't know what that is. Some people would say they're pooping themselves. I'm not going to call it pooping myself, because I really love it. I get excited. So, right, I'm going to get cracking. Going live onto my screen share thing. So fingers crossed everything's going to work okay. Here we go. All right, 1 second. Saying they can't see anything, or are we good?
No one's saying anything.
Okay, right. So hopefully, guys, you should be able to see the slides now and you should be able to hear me all right. Okay, so I'm just going to get started and we'll carry on. And like I say, I can't see what you're writing. A couple of admins can, but I can't. So we'll get to your questions at the end. Don't worry, and you'll get to see our pretty little face again. But for now, I'm just going to keep the slides on, okay? Right, so let's go back. How to make money on Amazon and crushed it this Q4. Okay, so hello and welcome to the Secret Wealth Project. I'm Matt. Hope you're doing all right. If I didn't say that when I started a video or a presentation, then it just wouldn't be right. So there you go. So if you don't know me, I'm Matt. I'm founder, creator, whatever you want to call me, of the Secret Wealth Project. We're all about helping you to make a passive income online and then reinvesting that income for true generational wealth building. So, I mean, some of you guys might be interested in making a little bit of side income. Some of you might like the idea of freedom from quitting your jobs. I mean, whatever your thing is, that's fine. But we're all about making money and building wealth. So I started with nothing, a broke kid from a council estate here in the UK. Literally had nothing. I failed my A-levels. I went back to college because I was convinced I was going to get into uni. So it took me 4 years to get into uni because I managed to hustle my way in. But then I dropped out after a year and a half anyway because I was making some decent money online and I hated university. So as a university dropout, even though I kind of failed my A-levels, failed at uni because I dropped out, I still went on to making 8 figures of product sales online. And now I'm here trying to help you guys to make an income online just like I did. So we all have a reason for starting this journey. Some people find us because they want freedom from the chains of their boss and their job. Some people find us because they simply want a better life for them and their families. More money equals more freedom and more choice. And some people find us because, like me, they just want to get rich. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want a better life for my family and all that stuff, but basically I want to get rich. So whatever your reason is, it's fine. Harness that power and let it drive you to success, okay? Because it's in the dark days, it's in the tough times, it's in the inevitable struggles that you will have when you set up your own business that you'll need to find that driver, that motivator, that inner passion, that inner kind of thing, that reason, your mission. You're going to have to find that and dig deep to be able to kind of push forwards with it. So a brief overview of online arbitrage. And don't get me wrong, this webinar is going to be mostly focused on people that can already sell online arbitrage, you guys that have been doing it a while. But don't get me wrong, I'm going to cover it for the beginners too. So this is a brief overview for the beginners, and then we'll get into you guys that have been doing it a while. Okay, so I want everyone to be kind of covered in this. So yeah, brief overview. Online arbitrage is an online business model that can be run remotely from a computer or laptop. It involves simply buying low and selling high. We buy from normal retailers. So in the US, that might be Walmart, Target, Best Buy, and online wholesalers. In the UK, that could be, for example, Tesco, Asda, TK Maxx, you know, and just normal online retailers. And we buy at, say, for example, £10 or $10, and we sell on Amazon at £20 or $20. That's it. So you're buying from normal stores and you're selling online on Amazon. And then you get to keep the extra margin minus Amazon fees and taxes. Now, there are slightly different other like business models like retail arbitrage, but we won't go into that here. But it's the same thing. You just source your stock in store and not online. But it's exactly the same. You just scan your stock usually in store, and then you buy stuff, fill your trolley, take it out, and then you send it into Amazon. But online arbitrage, you might buy from the very same stores, but what you do is you just order it, get it sent to your prep center, and then sent to Amazon. So online arbitrage is a great business model for internet marketing beginners because it's really easy to get into, and there are very few points of failure, which is why I really like it as a beginner business. Slurping my tea. So what are you laughing at? Is that wrong that I slurped? While he's laughing. So what is Q4 and why is it so special for online arbitragers? You'll hear this thing Q4 mentioned a lot from now till Christmas. But basically, toys and gifts sell okay all year round. But at Christmas, they sell like crazy. Everybody buys presents for their family or friends. And if you've got kids, you'll know you have to buy a ton of presents at Christmas. In fact, most people typically buy more gifts for their kid, for example, at Christmas than they do for their kid's birthday. At least I do. So this spikes sales demand across almost all toys and gifts. And you can take advantage of this increased demand by buying toys low and selling them on Amazon during Q4 for high. Simple as that. So how do I get into online arbitrage if I haven't already? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how to learn the ins and outs of this process in a short while. But here's the basics. And again, I'm going to just skip over them now because I don't want this to be a total beginner's webinar. But this will give you the basics. So step 1, sign up for an Amazon seller's account. Step 2 is download Keeper, which is a Chrome extension that plugs into the free Google Chrome browser. So there's a link you can find for this and anything else I mentioned at secretwealthproject.com/online arbitrage tools. And don't worry if you're scrambling around to get that down. I'm going to make a replay available of this webinar, so you can always get that link at the end. So don't worry about it. But secretwealthproject.com/online arbitrage tools. And there's some links for some stuff in there. So sign up to your sourcing tool of choice. So Tactical Arbitrage is a great tool. It's basically some automated software that goes out and finds deals for you. And if you use the coupon code SWPVIP, you get a free 10-day trial instead of a free 7-day trial. And yeah, it finds the online arbitrage deals for you. So step 1, sign up for a seller's account. Step 2, get free free Keeper Chrome extension to be able to analyze your deals. And it analyzes the deals that a software tool like Tactical Arbitrage finds for you. And then step 4, get Wizard Bar. and wizard fee calculator to help you analyze deals fast and easy. Again, you can find links for all these things at secretwealthproject.com/online arbitrage tools. And step 5, scan for deals, analyze the deals, buy the deals, then send them into Amazon. Amazon sells the products and ships the products for you. And yeah, for all the links to the tools and everything else you need, including prep materials, go to secretwealthproject.com/online arbitrage tools. On there, some of the links on there are affiliate links. I like to be nice and honest with you guys and upfront. So if you do use them, I may get a small commission. They're not all affiliate links, like the Keeper Chrome extensions linked on there is not an affiliate link because there's no payment to be made. But some of them are. So if you don't want me to get an affiliate commission for anything, just go direct, and then that will cut me out the deal. That's fine. Right, so what's the best way for you to learn the online arbitrage business model? I'll tell you shortly how to find out the very best way to learn everything you need to know for the online arbitrage business model if you're an absolute beginner. But first, we're going to talk more about selling online during Q4. So that's me skipping over the basics. I understand it is just basics. I've got a free online arbitrage course on YouTube if you're interested in learning some more for free, and it goes into the whole process. But we'll talk about how to learn more in a bit. So Christmas is coming. So this is for you guys that are established sellers, and obviously it'll still be interesting to you beginners too. I'm going to go into the good decisions and the mistakes I've made last year, and tips and stuff that's likely to be the same this year that will help you. You can learn from my mistakes and not make the same ones I made this year. So I made a ton of mistakes. You know what? That's all part of it. But I didn't have any well, maybe there was solid resources out there for me to learn from, but I didn't really use them. So I went the trial and error method, and it kind of cost me a lot of money in bad buys. But anyway, Q4 tips. So when to buy, okay? Now, people will tell you to start buying toys now and go big for Q4. That's what I heard last year. People were saying, right, summer, start buying toys now, start buying toys now. That's what they'll tell you. And for some people, this does make some sense. But for most people, it makes no sense, okay? So I know some of you veteran online arbitragers right now will be screaming at your screens going, no, Matt, what are you talking about? You definitely want to start buying now. But let me explain. Demand for most non-summer toys is still very low right now and won't spike massively until we go into November. Now, if you have limited capital, I advise you carry on as normal for now. We're still a way away from the big spike late November and December, and buying for Q4 may prematurely tie up your capital. So if you've got big funds, go for it. So if you've got large amounts of capital and you don't mind possibly waiting almost half a year, I mean, it's the best part of 6 months to sell your stock, then by all means start buying now. But if, for example, you've got £1,000 to buy stock, you'd be absolutely crazy to spend that £1,000 on toys right now when the reality is other things will probably be selling better for you. And, you know, I just think it's a bit premature if you've got a low amount of funds. If you're talking you've got £300, £400, £500, $500 or $1,000, or even, you know, maybe even a couple of thousand, it might be a bit premature to start buying toys. But it's time to start getting ready soon, okay? So when I say don't buy right now yet and don't tie your capital up too much, you might want to buy the odd deal here and there, but don't go too mad for it. Now, if you've not done OA before, now is the perfect time to start and get to learn this business model and get to know what you're doing. You know, now is the time to learn it. And it's also a perfect time to get ungated in what's called gated categories. So you can sell in other categories other than toys and build a little sales history to have less potential restrictions going into Q4. So here's the demand timeline, okay? So this is from Google Trends. If you're interested in finding out about how much demand certain products have, I mean, you can look on Keeper. So once you've installed the Keeper Chrome extension, you can have a look. You can just expand it to all or expand it to a year, and you'll be able to see how fast that ASIN or that particular product has sold. But this is from Google Trends. So this is just a search of toys, okay? So obviously this just shows general demand for toys. 1 second, I'm taking a slurp. Oh, cold tea, that's my last. Oh, I don't like cold tea. Right, so here's the demand timeline, okay? So as you can see, this spikes. This is showing you a general kind of gist for what Christmas is, okay? So by the middle to end of October, demand is likely to have doubled from where it is today. Okay, so the middle of October, it's likely to have doubled from where it is today, which is why I'm saying don't go mad with toys just yet. Which sounds great, but supply will be spiking by, hang on 1 second, I've got to hide. It's literally in the way of my slides. This little Webinarjam. Oh God, what's happened? Right, I'm hoping you guys read that because I can't see what that says. Which sounds great, but supply will be spiking by more than double also. So it will likely not result in proportionate sales increase. Yeah, that's what that says. So more on the demand timeline. So demand will peak during the last week in November. Okay, so don't get it twisted. It is what it is. Demand will peak in the last week in November. Demand will be extremely high during November and December. And demand will swiftly drop off a couple of days before Christmas as soon as customers will not be able to get the product in time for Christmas. There will be leftover demand and still strong sales in the days after Christmas from people spending gifted Christmas money and searching for post-Christmas bargains. Now, this might seem really obvious to you veteran OAers, but you'd be surprised how many people that haven't been through a Q4 have these questions and how much this kind of would have helped me if I'd have known these things going in. Because I mean, I think when you're fresh to this business, you go in thinking, oh, the whole of Q4 is going to be like 10 times sales and like it. And then people say, oh yeah, sales are strong in January and stuff like that. But basically what I'm saying here is what I saw with my own eyes. So whether it's the same this year, who knows? But if you remember, if you look back to that 5-year Google Trends chart, you'll see that every year it basically does the exact same thing. So if it's different, I'll be very, very surprised. So people may tell you that sales are strong in January, but sales for toys swiftly drop off in January, okay? You may get decent sales in the first week of January, but it'll be nothing like November or December. So don't expect the whole of January to be strong. In January, you need to transition out of toys and into other items, for example, home stuff, fitness stuff, and all that. So when's the best time to start buying for Q4 for most sellers then, if it's not right now? Now, I tell you what, the best time for most sellers will be November. Now, it feels really late to be doing it then, but the best sales come in November, and you should look to have as much cash as possible going into late November, ready for the big sales on good selling of well thought of toy brands. So what actually happens is all the retailers start to have a war with each other for who can grab the majority of kind of purchasers. So what used to happen is all the sales used to happen in like Boxing Day and January sales, and people used to wait and spend all the money there then. But what's happened, and I believe it's down to like Amazon doing their, I don't know if you call it Black Friday or whatever they call it, but they've got like these sales events on, and it's basically shifted online and retail spending a lot earlier. And to combat this, big retailers in the UK and probably in the US, like Tesco, Argos, your big massive retailers are all kind of warring with each other to be the first kind of sale, so they can grab the lion's share of those sales. So what actually happens is the sales that you would typically expect for retailers to dump stock after Christmas and in January kind of come before Christmas, which is crazy. It's back to front, but it's what's happening and happening more and more increasingly in recent years. So it's something you can take advantage of. So big toy brands that you can't really go too far wrong with, or big power brands are brands like Lego, Nerf guns, Disney stuff, you know, these big brands that have kind of got year-round demand and especially Christmas demand. If you put your money into things like that, you're unlikely to be sitting on them after Christmas. So they sell quick and they always sell out eventually, assuming you did your proper due diligence. So you're very unlikely to be stuck with top branded toys after Q4. Now, how deep should you go? Again, I hope you realize this is all really good info to kind of get around your heads, and it's good to see my insight. I hope you do see some value in this stuff, because these are all questions that I had last year and nobody really gave me a good answer. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you guys are liking these kind of answers. I'm trying to go in depth into exactly kind of what's what. So year round, the best strategy is to go wide and not deep. You'll have heard a lot of people say this, me especially. I'm always saying go wide and not deep, especially year round. And this means buy lots of different SKUs, so lots of different products rather than lots of one SKU. At Christmas, this is different though. You can go deeper, but do not expect to sell 10 times your normal volume. It's extremely unlikely to happen. Now, people will tell you, oh yeah, everything sells at Christmas. You can buy 1,000 units of anything and it all sells. It's not true. You will likely see 3 to 5 times normal demand. Now, that's only a rough figure. Obviously, some products you might only see double the demand. Some products you won't see any extra demand. You know, a bad seller is going to be a bad seller. But you're likely to see 3 to 5 times normal demand for most toy products. Again, if you're selling gardening products that are not giftable, don't expect to see any demand increase. You'll probably see a demand drop. But when it comes to toys and gifts, you'll probably see a 3 to 5 times normal demand. But supply will also increase. So if you go too deep, it may bite you. I dare say it will bite you if you go too deep. If you're buying hundreds of units of something, you're probably going to be left with units after Christmas. So how deep is too deep? For most products, 100 plus units, if you're looking to keep your ROI and not just dump them, 100 plus units for most products is likely to be too deep, at least in the UK market. If you stick to around 30 to 50 items max on any one good selling SKU, you will not be left with any stock. Now, that might be too few. You might be kicking yourself for not buying more, but if you go 100 plus on any item, because there's competition, because Amazon might be selling it, you might think, oh, I'm going really deep. I'm going to buy 200 units of this. But if 5 other people have bought 200 units as well, and there's 1,000 units, and even at Christmas it only sells 250, you're all going to be either tanking prices or left with stock after Christmas. So going deeper is good during December, but going too deep is risky. Again, if you're an experienced seller, you know what you're doing, you know how deep to go. But for beginners, for intermediates, I would definitely say 30 to 50 items max on good sellers is going to leave you in a good position not to have to drop your stock price too low as it approaches Christmas, not dump it at a loss. So what happens to prices during Christmas and Q4? Well, what happens is sellers start to panic the closer it gets to Christmas, and whereby you'd expect them to increase prices. This is what I expected. I thought things would start selling out and people would start increasing prices. And that does happen on some SKUs. And some people do increase prices to get maximum ROI from the demand. But what actually usually happens is the opposite. So people start to panic the closer it gets to Christmas. So you might think the prices are going to go up, but they drop their prices to dump their stock in fear that they'll be left with stock after Christmas. This has an effect of the market dropping out for many products before you'd expect. Now, if you don't go too deep, you'll hopefully avoid being caught out by this, which is why I say if you go 30 to 50 units on a good selling product, you're unlikely to get caught out most of the time. You start going 200, 300, 500 units, then you're probably going to be in a race to the bottom to dump your stock with everybody else, or you're going to be sitting on the stock after Christmas. So why do I think this happens? Because I think a lot of once-a-year sellers come out to play during Q4 and they want out when Christmas is over. People also borrow money on credit cards to buy stock, which means to avoid any interest payments or to be left with stock potentially long-term in their mind until maybe next Christmas, they dump their excess stock. And obviously, if a few sellers start doing this, it has massive downwards pressure on the prices. So people also know that demand drops off after Christmas and they want out of toys. So how do you get maximum ROI during Q4? Now, before I go into this, I hope you guys, I'll take a breather and I can't see your comments, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. Are you enjoying the content so far? Is it all right? Am I on point? Are we good or what?
Some people have just lost audio.
Oh, you're joking me. Right, if you've lost audio, now's the time to click reconnect. I'll give you 30 seconds. Can anyone hear me?
A lot of people are saying they can hear you. It was just Chris and Jay.
Right, okay.
Chris,
well, hopefully it recorded. they're struggling. Click reconnect. Tell me.
Chris has got audio back.
Okay. Are people okay with the content?
Yeah, they were really enjoying it.
Oh, lovely. Great stuff. Okay, so hopefully you guys with technical issues can get them sorted. Click reconnect, you'll only miss a couple of seconds. So how do you get maximum ROI during Q4? So you need to judge competition more closely than you normally would, okay? Make sure you have Wizard Bar installed so you can see at a glance what stock your competition has left. So I'm not talking about Wizard Bar from a point of view of the estimated sales, which we know recently has been a bit random and a lot of people have been reporting that it's not been very accurate, and we've been seeing it's not been very accurate. But usually when you tell Sean, he kind of sorts it out. But make sure Wizard Bar is installed, and then when you click check stock, you can see how many items other sellers have got in stock. And it's good to know this. It's good to have this kind of intelligence as you're going into Q4. And don't wait too long for your ROI. If the sellers above you, and I say above in inverted commas, in the list have lots of stock, as in hundreds of units, for example, they'll probably not sell out. So it's time to join the party and match them on price. Because if you think, well, the seller at the top of the list has got 500 units, so I'll wait for them to sell out and I'll get a higher ROI, it's probably not going to happen for all but the very fastest selling products. So don't wait too long to get your ROI. If your competition's got loads of stock, it's probably time to join the party or bow out and accept that you're probably not going to sell them. Now, don't be too stubborn on ROI. You might want 50+%, as I did last year, but you might, and you might be willing to wait. But if the sellers above you in the list don't sell out, you will not achieve it. Okay, so I'm not saying drop your prices too soon. Maybe you want to match pricing. I don't know, but you want to join the party earlier. Don't expect that things are going to get better the closer it gets to Christmas, because the price could drop out. Like I said in the last slide, the price could drop out on that SKU, and then you're left holding the bag, which you don't want. So if your competition's got tons and tons of stock, which you have got to monitor in Q4, then consider not dumping it, but joining the party and accepting a lower ROI. You might want 50%, you might expect 50%, but if they've got 500 units and they're selling at 30% ROI, chances are you're not going to get your 50%, so it's time to accept the 30% and match them on price. And don't believe the hype that anything sells at Christmas. I hear this all the time. It doesn't. You still need to do your due diligence on every deal. So if you buy some, I don't know, crappy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle product that doesn't sell all year round, expecting, well, it's a toy, so everyone's going to want it at Christmas, it doesn't happen. You know, don't believe the hype. Not everything sells at Christmas. People that tell you this are either inexperienced or they're just using kind of hyperbole, if that's the right word. They're just kind of puffing it up. It's not magic. It's not magic. Good sellers sell better. Bad sellers still sell bad. So more Q4 tips. So we've got a keeper graph here for you new guys. And if you're not a new guy and you don't know what a keeper is, then you're newer than you realize. But basically check keeper year. So you can click to go to year. It might be on default as 3 months. But if you click year or all, you can see individual demand for products the year before. Green line going downwards equals increased demand. Assuming you've got keeper set up correctly, there's a little sort feature where you can flip the BSR or the green line to go the other way. So it might trick you, make sure it's the right way around. But basically, the faster selling it is, the lower the green line is. So you can see where that big black arrow is as it goes down towards kind of the start of November-ish. The middle of November, it's pretty good. The end of November, it's good. And as it goes into December, it's really low. That means that product is selling like crazy. And then you can see just after the black arrow, obviously the price increases, but the demand or the sales of it kind of spike upwards, which is a lower BSR or a higher BSR, which actually means a lower sales volume. But yeah, you can basically judge it on the year before. You can judge it from the keeper graph. So if you want to have a look at a particular SKU and how it sold last year, look for the green line going down. If it goes down crazily like that, trust me, there's increased demand and that SKU's ranking really well. So that's something to look out for. So what products did last year, they are likely to do this year, but not always. So the times when this might not be the case are, for example, when film releases coincided with sales increase. So this means they might not repeat the spike this year. Okay, so when certain films or toys fall out of favor, for example, Frozen might not be as popular anymore, so demand might be lower this year. Now, my kid, she's 7, and she's not interested in Frozen at all anymore. And my feeling is maybe kids are just a bit over the Frozen thing. It's not likely to be an ultra timeless classic like other films might be that have been around 20, 30 years. I mean, Frozen's still probably going to be a strong brand forever because it's a great little film for kids. But maybe it's her age and she's grown out of it, or maybe the film's losing its sparkle as it gets a little bit older and kids aren't so interested anymore. But that'll have an effect on toys. So you might look at last year's products and they might not sell as well this year. So it's something to bear in mind. Now, another example is, say, for example, Hello Kitty. Kids aren't interested in Hello Kitty anymore. So demand may be dropping off for certain SKUs in the following years. This is just something to bear in mind. So Keeper's great. You can look at like last year, yeah, sales were good. The year before, maybe their sales were good. But this year, maybe just nobody's interested anymore. So and another one that might be affected is the hottest trend items. So one year will likely not be as hot the year after. So for example, last year it was Hatchimals. And they're likely not to be as hot a seller this year, especially since Hatchimals are kind of rubbish. Now, loads of people, Ollie just laughed. They are rubbish, aren't they? They're really bad. So, I mean, everyone were going nuts from this guy that I spoke to. I told him about Hatchimals, and he's like, you need to buy your kid an Hatchimal. I'm like, they're £150 on Amazon or wherever. And he's like, look, if you don't buy one, I'm going to write a check right now. I'm going to get my card out. Can you remember, Jason? He's like, I'm going to buy her one. Did he say he was going to buy her 2? I'm going to buy her 2 if you don't buy them. I'm like, look, Jason, we've got to sit on this. Trust me. And then I ended up I got her one, didn't I?
Yeah, she hated it.
For normal prices. She hated it. It was rubbish. I mean, they sit there looking at them and then they're like, they make this weird noise if they even work. I mean, there was loads of reports of Hatchimals not even hatching. You imagine the disappointment on your kid's face when your Hatchimal doesn't even hatch and the batteries don't work or something. Terrible, terrible product. But anyway, yeah, they're not likely to have the same demand this year as they did last year. Don't get me wrong, they're probably still going to sell. Who knows? But don't expect they're going to be a slam dunk crazy seller. So if you're sitting on them from last year, I don't know, you might struggle. But who knows? And remember, prepping times will also slow down. Prep centers are likely to be very overwhelmed during Q4. So establishing good working relationships with them sooner rather than later may help you during Q4. I know people like to name drop us, and for our recommended prep centers, we don't actively recommend any prep centers anymore, but because we don't like it when people kind of come back and say, well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, or we fell out with our prep center. It makes us feel bad for recommending them, so we don't actively recommend them. But usually, if you do mention us, even though we've got no kind of, we don't make no commission from it or anything like that. But if you do mention us, it usually does go some way to you getting treated a little bit better. And I know they always look after us as well. Probably because we send them tons of business from you guys. But it's good to have a good working relationship with your prep centers to make sure that they look after you. But Amazon receiving times will likely slow down massively during November as trucks get backed up. I mean, last year, literally trucks were parked outside fulfillment centers, backed up down the motorway, well, maybe not the motorway, but they were backed up down the roads outside Amazon FBA centers, and they could not get the stock into Amazon fast enough. Now, this may scare you, but Amazon usually speeds up at receiving during December as they increase sales staff, packing staff and stuff. So it does actually get better during December, believe it or not, which sounds crazy, but they literally put all hands on deck. They recruit a ton of staff, and they really get to it. So again, this might sound obvious, it might not sound obvious, but knowing this information will really help you with answering these questions before you even have them. So I hope you know that this is this is experienced in the trenches kind of information that might sound obvious, but you'll have these questions going into Q4. And hopefully, if this year repeats itself as it probably does last year and most years, and hopefully you'll have answers to your questions. Timing your last shipment into Amazon is likely to be a bit of guesswork, but it'll probably be later than you expect. Okay, so I know last year people were sending in as late as mid-December, with very few complaints. But judge this, do most of your buying in November. I would hate you to be buying thinking I said mid-December's okay, and you sending it in on the 15th of December, expecting it to not only get there, get checked in and start selling. I mean, I would not leave it that late. I would try and do most of your buying during November and probably go very, very, not shallow, but a lot less deep if you're going to start sending things in December. But like I say, shipments were getting processed, and they're getting quite quickly processed for most people, like in the beginning of December and going into mid-December. So don't think the game's up during December. Things actually speed up on Amazon. And be willing to prep yourself if you have to. Prep centers will get backlogged and they'll be struggling however well they prepare. Don't get caught out. Prep centers are going to be so crazily oversubscribed during November and December. If you expect the prep center to do all your prepping, and that's your strategy to send things in late November, early to mid-December, and expect the prep center to turn around quick enough, I'm not saying they won't, but I wouldn't bet your life on it. So just be prepared the later it gets in Q4 to prep yourself, unless you've got some solid, not guarantees, but solid reassurance in place from the prep center owners that they're going to be able to deliver. You're all right to grab me water? Sorry, I can tell my voice is going to start getting croaky if I don't grab some water, and I'm not drinking that tea. It's disgusting now. It's gone cold. Best tea ever when it's warm, but not when it's cold. Right, so my biggest mistakes last year, and I really hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you're not thinking, Matt, shut up. I'm trying to just pack everything I know about Q4 into this one webinar for you. So as you approach Q4, you can just go, right, I remember how comprehensive Matt's insight was to last Q4. I'm just going to give it a little watch again. I'll put it on YouTube, and I'll make the replay available for you guys. So if you want to watch it in a month or two's time, you can watch it. It's highly unlikely anything's likely to change this year. I think it's going to be very, very similar. So hopefully this insight, although it's not guaranteed and who knows what will happen this year, hopefully this insight will help you somewhat into planning, strategizing, and seeing what you're going to do for this Q4. So my biggest mistakes last year, okay, or last Q4, going too deep. It was a massive mistake, okay? Waiting too long for good ROI. So a sale is a sale. Waiting can be a gambling game, especially if you're deep. If you've gone 150, 200, 300, 500 units deep on something thinking it's an absolute bargain, and you're waiting for a good ROI, which it would be lovely in an ideal world, in a perfect world, you get it. The reality is when they start dumping their stock, when they start getting scared, you're going to be in a fight to just get any ROI. So don't wait too long for good ROI. A sale is a sale. If you can get 25% now or 30% now, then that's better than waiting for 40% or 45%, maybe, as Christmas gets closer and closer. So expecting too much from demand. This is another mistake of mine. Yes, demand increases 2, 3, 5 times on many products, but it's not magic. There are real people behind the sales. They come out of the woodwork. A lot of people start buying, but the reality is, a lot of people still do their buying in Tesco 3 for 2s. A lot of people still do the buying in Argos 3 for 2s. I'm sure they do the equivalent in US sales, retailers sales. So don't think that there's going to be 1 million people wanting to buy your product just because it's Christmas. And another mistake is assuming crappy selling products, like I've talked about, will magically become amazing selling products because they're toys. Duds stay duds. So they're my biggest mistakes. Learn from them. Don't make those same mistakes. You'll be a lot better positioned than I was last year by knowing these little facts. But, my opinion anyway. So more tips. Buying too big too early might catch you out with Amazon new Amazon product restrictions. So this is a relatively new one for this year. I don't remember it happening on any of our SKUs last year. And we sent in, I don't know, well over £50,000 buy price in November-ish, wasn't it? November, December. We sent in tens of thousands of pounds worth of stock buy price. And I don't remember, do you remember anything getting restricted that had already been in stock? No. But it's happening right now, guys. So it's not a deal breaker. It's no reason to run from the business model. It's still a great, great, great way to make money this Christmas. but it's something to bear in mind. If you go deep on some products right now, you buy a couple hundred units thinking you're really being clever of one SKU, and then, I don't know, maybe you're going to send them in 3 months from now, or maybe you even send them in, Amazon could literally just say, no, you can't sell them anymore. I mean, I've read 2-3 posts, I think today or yesterday, from sellers that have got stock, that was making sales, and all of a sudden Amazon have just decided you can't sell it anymore. So buying too big too early might catch you out. Obviously, the closer to Christmas you can buy the stock you want to sell, the less chance you've got of getting restricted between now and then. Go back. Oh, God. Right, sorry. Let's try again. Right, so make sure you're ungated to minimize chances of getting caught out with product restrictions. So new sellers are finding this year that product and category restrictions are absolutely crazy. Like new sellers, honestly, I don't know how they don't give up straight away if they didn't know what we know, and that is there's some kind of unofficial sandbox happening. Now, I'm surprised they don't all quit as they get started, because literally as a brand new seller, it can be very disheartening to see that everybody else seems to be able to sell, you can't sell. But I believe there's some temporary Amazon sandboxing where basically they say you can't sell this product, you can't sell that product, you can't sell this product. And I think it's almost like a little test period whereby they're just seeing if you're likely to start spamming the listings with like merchant fulfilled stuff that you don't own for cheaper prices, or you're doing anything spammy. They basically sit you in a little sandbox and they say, right, we're going to watch you for a while, see what you do. Now, if you get ungated in categories, and I think this is a bit of a loophole, but if you get ungated in categories, then you can basically lift tons of product restrictions as a new seller. Now, the best way to get ungated is from Karen Summer from Get Ungated. She is the UK's leading expert on ungating, and she can help you maximize Q4 by getting ungated if you're not already. So if you're a new seller, or if you're not ungated in certain categories, yeah, you can sell toys. If you're an established seller, you can sell most toys. But if you're a new seller, you can almost sell nothing. So getungated.co.uk is a good little service from Karen. She's awesome, a good friend of ours, good friend to Secret Wealth Project. And she's awesome. She literally knows everything there is to know about ungating. So go over to her site and get a service or a course, and she'll treat you right. So how do you learn online arbitrage? Okay, the best way is to learn everything you can before you start buying. So this is for new sellers. The biggest mistake new online arbitragers make is the bad buys at the beginning of their journey. Reduce your bad buys to almost zero by understanding Keeper, that's that free Chrome extension, properly, and don't gamble on the price going up. Now, if you're a veteran seller, you know what's going to happen, and you might have a little gamble thinking, well, yeah, it's not a great ROI now, but I know it's probably going to rise £1 or £2 before Christmas and I can cash in then. But if you're new, you don't want to be gambling on prices going up, and at least not at first anyway. And avoid buying during price spikes. Okay, so these are good little tips. Now, this is my little pitch. Hopefully you appreciate this massive chunk of content I've put together. It took me ages to put together this slideshow and rack my brains so you can get most value from it. So I hope you can forgive me for this little 5-minute pitch. Oh, it's not going to be 5 minutes. I'm going to keep it real quick. But I did a group 1-day intensive online arbitrage course a couple of months ago, and I filmed it, okay? We paid a professional videographer to film it. It goes from start to finish in setting up an online arbitrage business. So if you're brand new to online arbitrage and you want to cash in this Q4, then this is a great little thing. It goes over everything you need to know to avoid bad buys and do this business properly. I should say there's going to be a Q&A shortly, guys. So just hang fire. Let me do this little short pitch, and then we're going to go into the Q&A. So you can get access to those videos that we did of that 1-day intensive, so you can be ready to cash in Q4. And right now, I'm doing a pre-launch huge discount. It's launching tonight. This is the first time anyone's seen this, and you can get that by going to secretwealthproject.com/secret-online-arbitrage. Okay. And time for some questions and answers. So random questions from the Secret Wealth Project Facebook group. And if you didn't get that link, Holly will post. Can you post that link in the group? The link I sent it you over Skype earlier. It's the link to that page. But she'll post it in the group anyway if anyone wants to check that out. But random questions from the Secret Wealth Project Facebook group. So Dan Moe says, is it better to buy a lot of stock each week or buy it all at once and send it in? And we're going to go to live Q&As shortly. Don't worry. These are just a few questions that I got a day or two back that I want to cover first. So is it better to buy a bit of stock each week or buy it all at once and send it in? So it depends on your capital. If you have a lot of money for stock, you want to start by dripping it in soon to build up your stock levels. But if you have little capital, I'd wait until their best sales, likely end of November, and go as big as you can. You'll probably be able to turn your stock over at least once before then. Darren Treeweek question, do you price a little higher in Q4? It depends on the product. Some yes, some no, but you have to judge it on your competition. Now, I don't look at competition mostly too much when we're doing year-round arbitrage, but at Christmas, I think it's more important. But how many units they have and their likelihood of selling out is really important to you. Price too low and you miss out on ROI. Price too high and you risk being left with stock as demand dries up. Simon Gardner asks, when would you send the last shipment in to get the best sales before Christmas because of Prep Center and booking in Amazon? Kind of covered this, but around the 7th to 12th of December to be safe if you're sending it in yourself. Don't hold me to that. Who knows this year? It's a bit of guesswork, but that is obviously a little bit later than most people think. But around the 7th to 12th of December to be safe. Oh, let me go back. Sorry. What happened? Where'd that go? Sorry, guys. Let me skip forward. I'm not sure what happened there. Hope you guys are enjoying the webinar. I'm hoping it's all filled with the kind of content that you was hoping for. But we're going to get to your questions anyway, so we've sculpted it how you want. Right. Right. Okay, that's the question. So around the 7th to 12th, obviously the sooner the safer. If you're using a prep center, I'd probably be hesitant after the first few days of December, maybe even earlier than that. So you've got to judge it yourself. Talk to the prep center, see how they're doing, see if they're even responding to you during December. My guess is they'll be working 24/7 and they'll be hitting it with everything they've got to try and sort everyone's products out and keep everyone happy. But yeah, sooner the safer if you're using a prep center. 7th to the 12th, probably December if you're not. So Simon Gardner asks, should I risk spending more on a credit card and buy more stock or stay within my means and stick to my budget of £1,000? Now, sorry to cop out, but only you can answer that, Simon. There's likely not going to be this level of demand across the board at any other time of year. But if you do it, make sure you go wide so you reduce the risk of being stuck with stock, but with interest to pay on your credit card. If there was any time I would borrow, it probably likely would be for Q4. So if I were you, would I do it? Yes, probably. You know, but caveat emptor or whatever, it's up to you. Buyer beware. It's your thing. So it's time for Q&A. 1 second, I'm going to go live if I can find it. There we go. Right, 1 second. Okay, where is it? Let's go back to that. Right, turn screen. Oh, I pressed it. It's got dark while I've been doing that. Look at that. Right, we're set in the dark a little bit here, but that's okay. Come on. Where's Pebbles? Oh, there's the cat, look. There's the fish. What are you doing, fish? Trying to be famous again, aren't you?
She's trying to knock this glass over whilst you were doing that.
Vinny says, great webinar, but I need to rewatch it. Great stuff. Okay. So how many people, we've got people in here? 128. That's not bad. It's not bad. People stuck around and I appreciate it. Right, Q&A time. Okay. So Holly's going to ask the questions. We're going to try and get to a load of them. It's 9 o'clock, so it was 45 minutes. Probably going to do 10, 15 minutes Q&A. Hopefully you guys will get a lot of value from it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was very insightful. I watched a couple of videos from people in Q4 just to see if I was missing anything. And I wasn't overly impressed with them. What I've gave you there is my insight, and fingers crossed you enjoyed it as much as I'm hoping you would. And I hope you appreciate that. It wasn't a pitch fest. Tiny 2-minute pitch. Look at her. It's like she knows. Ashley says hi, Pebbles.
She's just come to say hello.
So what did you think, guys? Was it okay? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Oh, fish, she's after my water. Fish, no, it's mine. Honestly, that cat. Very good. Okay. Really good. Gosh, time flew fast. That's good. That's good. Great vid. Top chat. Great stuff. Gunny, perhaps for a more advanced webinar, you'll have to let me know what you want to know. I think that was good insight for a lot of people. I mean, if you're, I'm not sure what kind of advanced things you want to know. If you already know all that stuff, you probably are advanced. You probably want to know about sourcing and things like that. But you're probably already pretty advanced. Right, so no, Gavin, probably not. We're probably not going to be prepping at home again. Right, Hol, so if you want to...
Probably.
No.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to be prepping. I'm not going to push it on Beck. And
there's no probability of me doing it.
She ain't doing it, so there's your answer. No, we're probably not going to be prepping. We're going to do what we do, and that's that. So, right, so go for it, Holly.
Okay, everyone. Ooh.
They're going mad, aren't they? Right, I'd probably start from the first questions and we'll just get stuck in. And like I say, we'll do 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, see how we go.
Darren asked, do new sellers struggle to get buy box against experienced sellers? I find this now, even though it's the same price.
Say that again. I was reading. Sorry. Go on. Sorry, I won't read. Go for it, Hol.
Do new sellers struggle to get the buy box against experienced sellers? I find this now, even though it's the same price.
You know what? On eBay, new sellers are at a massive disadvantage. For example, if you've got a brand new account, no one trusts you. But the very fact that on Amazon, I would probably guesstimate probably 80% of Amazon's customers don't even know that there's any third-party sellers involved. They think they're buying from Amazon. So it might affect how much buy box percentage you get, but it probably doesn't affect somebody choosing you. And when I say it affects your buy box percentage, it probably doesn't affect it that much. So on eBay, if you're a brand new seller, you're at a huge disadvantage because you've got no feedback, no one trusts you. You need to at least buy some stuff. But because Amazon works differently and they own the listing and you just basically say, I have some of that stock, and then the customer just clicks the buy box, as long as you're in that buy box, you'll get the sale. So the Amazon's algorithm for who gets the buy box goes into all kinds of different things, like usually price is the main one. So if you're the cheapest, you'll probably get the buy box anyway over a more experienced veteran seller. But it goes on price, it goes distance of your product in an FBA center to the customer, especially in America. It goes into seller metrics. But I don't want to guesstimate, I don't want to put my life on it, but probably 80% of how Amazon decides who gets the buy box is probably price. There's lots of theories as to other metrics that are involved, and they are involved, but just seller doesn't affect you as just launched seller doesn't affect you as much as, say, other platforms might. Next question.
Mehdi asked, hey, I'm starting soon. I'm planning to sell my product in September. What is your advice for a beginner?
Sorry, I was reading again. I'm so sorry. I need to not read. Go on. Sorry.
Don't read.
Sorry, I won't read. You know what? I'm going to go one step further than not read. I'm so professional. I'm going to go one step further than not reading. I'm going to actually get it off screen. There we go. Boom. Right, go for it.
What is your advice for a beginner?
What's my advice for a beginner? Mm-hmm. Get started. Don't give up. At the end of the day, what you're going to do with your money, if you've got £1,000 in the bank, your £1,000 is earning you nothing. Your £1,000 is actually decaying because of inflation. So the price of goods and services goes up every year. That's basically what inflation is. So the value of your money decreases every year. So if you leave it in the bank and banks are paying 0.1% interest, if you can get 1% interest, I'll be very, very surprised. And with inflation at let's say it's at 3%, then let's say you'll get 0.1% interest, but inflation is 3%. Your money is basically decaying the best part of 3% every single year. So if you leave your money in the bank in cash, you are losing money on it. It's not safe. It's decaying. It's like setting fire to 3% every year. If you buy stock with it, then you're in the game and you've got a chance of maybe making 20% ROI. So your £10 can become £12, you know, or maybe 30% ROI or 50% ROI. Now, if you get 50% ROI, your £10 becomes £15, and you can do that multiple times a year. You can see how it can soon kind of skyrocket and snowball, and it has a snowball effect. And that money decaying in the bank all of a sudden becomes money making money, which is what you want. So it's a great little investment. So like I say, get started. Don't give up. Don't be disheartened or put off by the seller restrictions that you're going to see as a new seller. Now is the time to start. Don't wait 2 months before you start. You need to learn the process. Even with a comprehensive course that goes from start to finish, like the one-day intensive videos that I've linked in this webinar. In fact, I can actually put that up for you guys. Let me just do that first. Again, it's not been a heavy pitch. I've really not pitched heavily. But let me just load this in, and that should, has that loaded? Can you see? Oh, display offer, right. Okay, 1 second. Right, so there we go. So there's the link to the discount. And I'm telling you right now, that's pre-launch discount. My prices only go up. I've never dropped a price yet, I don't think. So I usually look after the people that put their trust in me first. So again, not pitch heavy at all, but I'll leave that link there for you. Hopefully you guys can see it, and I'll leave that link for you so you can see it. But basically, you want to get in the game now. If you're a beginner, you need to get in the game now. You don't want to be waiting until a month or two from now, because you're behind the curve. Then you're going to have new seller status. You're not going to be able to sell a lot of stuff. If you get involved now, you can learn the business. You can learn Keeper, which is the most important tool, and it's a free tool. You can start getting practice with sourcing, ready for the big sales, and you can start getting ungated with things like Karen's service, which is going to make a massive difference to you. So the key is start now. Don't leave your money in cash. Put your money in stock. You can make money from stock. You can't make money from cash. So that's what I would say, and don't give up. Go for it. Is that a good answer? Have you got anything to add to that, what a beginner should do?
Go wide, not deep.
Go wide, not deep. So buy lots of products. Don't buy 100 of anything ever. Just don't do it until you really know what you're doing. Don't do that. What you want to do is you want to buy a few of, 3, 4, 5 units, maybe maximum when you're starting out. So that if the price goes against you, let's say Amazon come into stock and they undercut you by half, and then you can't sell it anymore at a profit, then you're going to be sitting on the stock. So if you've only got a few units, lots of fishing rods rather than a massive like trawler, then you can have different fishing rods in the pond. And if one fishing rod gets knocked out, well, you're all right. You've still got fishing rods. So that's our advice. What else? Next question.
Yeah. Ryan asked, is no FBA seller on a listing a red flag? Do they know something we don't, or have they missed an opportunity?
Can be sometimes. If there's no FBA seller, it can be sometimes. Now, if you're sourcing from weird places like eBay or something like that, and you buy a product that's private label, some private label sellers might get a bit of a problem with you and then make a counterfeit claim against Amazon, even if it's not true, if it's legitimate stock, and then all of a sudden you can get into some problems. So it's a bit of a gamble sometimes if there's no FBA sellers on there. But having said that, if you bought your product from Argos or Tesco or somewhere like that, the chance of it being kind of like a private label product are pretty slim. So usually the bigger the store you've sourced from, the less chance you've got of getting any problems selling it on. So sometimes, I mean, we've been on listings where there's no FBA sellers, and sometimes it can just be because nobody would be crazy enough to sell that item at FBA because it's really ridiculous. I mean, there's been products whereby we can't find a box in the universe that will fit that product in it. So nobody has that item for sale as an FBA seller because they can't even send it into Amazon, and the storage fees are ridiculous because it's oversized and stuff, so they don't bother. And we've sent them in and they've sold just sold like hotcakes. So it's a bit of a gamble. It's a bit of one of these suck it and see type things. But I just advise, if anyone starts kicking off and saying, oh, you're selling counterfeit products or whatever, just get the products out of there, make them happy, show them where you bought them from. Do you know what I mean? Say, I apologize, won't sell them anymore, remove the stock, done. Fingers crossed, all's well, all's good. Next question. Yeah. Unless you've got something to add. Yeah.
if there's no FBA seller on there, you're going to want to check that you can actually even list in the first place.
Of course.
But you should be doing that with everything that you buy anyway.
Nowadays, especially this year.
Before you buy anything.
Before you buy anything, you try and add it as a product.
Yeah, and also you want, when you add it, it takes you through to a shipment page, and you're going to want to make sure that the item appears greyed out in that shipment page. You don't have to go ahead with the shipment. You just cross it off, but you need to make sure that it appears in the greyed out part.
Okay.
Because if it isn't, and it might not have told you that it's hazmat or something like that.
There you go.
That makes sense.
See, have I ever set up a shipment in Amazon? I've never ever set up a shipment in Amazon. We've sent tons and tons of products to Amazon. I've never sent a shipment. Ollie's always done it. So good insight. Thank you.
Does your online arbitrage course apply to US FBA users as well?
The online arbitrage course is, but I've got to be honest, it's focused mostly on UK people and European people. Having said that, a lot of the techniques do cross over and apply in the US. There's slight tweaks. For example, I believe US wholesale is a lot easier and a lot better. US competition is a little bit more aggressive. And obviously we have things like VAT to take into account, whereas you guys have sales tax and nexus and things like that. So there's some variations, but like analyzing a keeper in the US is exactly the same. So they're very, very similar. So it's up to you. I mean, you could buy the video course if you want to and suck it and see. There's a 30-day money back guarantee on it. So it's up to you as to whether it fits you. I think it will be very, very, very good for you, but you might want to choose a US-based course instead, which I don't offer right now. So I'm just being totally honest. I want you to be happy if you buy something from me, not just take your money. So you can always try it, and if it's not right, let us know and we'll refund you. Not a problem.
Jamie asked, when you sell to EU countries via FBA, are there any extra costs incurred to me?
Yes. There's two ways to sell to European countries. One of them is basically to send your stock to those countries and sell from there. So, for example, if you're based in the UK and you want to sell some stock in Germany or France, it's called pan-European. And basically, Amazon will shift your stock from the UK to European fulfillment centers, which means that customers in Germany, for example, if they buy from your stock, will get it shipped from a German fulfillment center. But the problem with and that's called pan-European. The problem with that is you're then liable for VAT in all of those countries. So basically, you're a new seller, for example, and you just want to make some nice, easy sales, and all of a sudden you've got VAT liabilities, which is sales tax, in all these different countries, and you basically need an accountant, or at least to register for VAT in all those countries. A tax legal nightmare you don't want to get involved in. Now, there's another way, which is a much better way, and that's basically you just click Enable European Listings, and it's called EFN, or European Fulfillment Network. And on that method, basically what happens is the products stay in a UK fulfillment center, but when you sell to France, they will ship them from the UK to France. Now, there are larger fees for that. There's tools out there. Wizard fee calculator estimates it. I know there's other tools, but basically it will estimate or tell you the exact European fulfillment network fee, and it adds it on. We used to add 30% onto the prices on everything. In fact, we do still add about 30% onto the price, which mostly covers the costs, but in isolated and quite a few instances, 30% extra on your UK prices, which is easy to set up in Amazon, doesn't quite always cover the EFN costs. So if you want to be exact, if you want to be perfect, and you want to maintain your margins, it's worth looking at it on a SKU basis. But yeah, they do add some costs, and the costs can change depending on ASIN and all kinds of things. So and country. So 30% mostly covers it, but it doesn't always cover it. So if you want to be certain, it can be anywhere from something like 20-ish% up to something like 46% or something like that. That's what I've heard. So I think it was Steve Bryan, our man, our guru, our coolest dude ever, love of our lives. And he basically, it's Holly's Vegan God. Anyone that's in the Secret Wealth Project Facebook group will know Steve. He's an absolute superstar. We love him. And he was the one, and Alfie Croft as well, another superstar, Secret Wealth Project. They came to us and basically said, sometimes 30% doesn't cover the AFM fees. So it's something to look at. 30% mostly covers it in most cases, I believe, but it's something to look at. Sorry, I've probably battered that one to death. Next question.
Ryan asked, what is your times 1.13 thing you often do? Where does the number 1.13 come from? Why is it relevant, but it's not 1.
No, it is 1.13. Yeah. So basically what happened is it just come from my testing. Basically, if you're an FBA seller, you've got an advantage over getting the buy box over merchant fulfilled sellers. So for you new guys, merchant fulfilled basically means they're shipping the goods from their home or their warehouse. FBA sellers means you've sent your products into Amazon and Amazon dispatch your products, or FBA dispatches your products, so fulfillment by Amazon. So the difference is Amazon like you to use FBA. They don't like you so much to use merchant fulfilled, because with FBA, one, they make more money, and two, they can control the fulfillment process. So they know if they dispatch the product, they know that the customer is going to get, or usually going to get, a very good experience, and that's what Amazon want. They're happy to have merchant fulfilled sellers, especially if they offer low prices and fast shipping and things like that. But there's a risk to it. If a merchant fulfilled seller screws over Amazon's customers, it's bad blowback for Amazon. So Amazon reward not only for the fact they make more money, but for the fact that they just like FBA sellers better. They make more money and stuff. So they reward you with the buy box more often than a merchant fulfilled seller. So you can basically price your FBA stock at 1.1. So you take a calculator. Let's say a merchant fulfilled seller is charging £10 for their product. You can times £10 by 1.13, and that's if they've got free shipping as well. If the merchant fulfilled seller has got £10 for the product price and then £10 postage and packing, then you can times their total cost, the cost and the shipping price, so the £20 by 1.13, and it basically gives you a 13% increase in price. And you can charge that, and most of the time you'll still take the buy box. So Amazon will reward you as an FBA seller with the buy box over the merchant fulfilled seller. How did I come to that figure? Through testing. So it's just through my own testing. Now in your testing, you might see a difference. You might be able to get away with a little bit more, but in my testing, every single time, it was 13.7% that was the tipping point. So if you go 13% higher than the merchant fulfilled seller, you're likely to get the buy box. I hope that answers that question. Now, if you don't understand it, it's actually covered in the video course in a little bit more depth, and I've covered it on the YouTube channel for free. So if you want to have a look at that, then just do a little search on the videos. Another question, Hall. Let's see how many people we got. 105. We've lost a few, but you hardcore guys are still here. Here we go. So again, a nice little bit of feedback. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it a lot.
Lee asked, are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening now. I'm listening.
Would you focus more on beauty and personal care items at Christmas?
Beauty and personal care? No. I mean, a lot of people don't like the competition on toys. Toys competition goes absolutely crazy at Christmas, but it's gonna. I mean, you've got new sellers jumping on there. You've got established sellers on there. You've got once a year sellers on there. They all buy too many. They all buy too deep. They all go too crazy. Demand does increase, but it doesn't increase magically 100 times or something crazy like that. So you've got a lot of demand. You've got a lot of supply. You've got a lot of competition in toys during Q4. You've got less competition in beauty, probably. Having said that, I didn't do any beauty this time last year because I wasn't ungated, because Holly had an Amazon account for private label stuff and she was ungated in beauty. And you're not really, Amazon doesn't like having two accounts in the same household. So they don't allow you to sell the same product. So we just said, look, if you stick to beauty and I don't get into beauty, then we won't get into any trouble. Because obviously we've got permission from Amazon and stuff, but you never know with them. So we just totally separated the two things. So I've not sold beauty at Christmas. So probably one of the more experienced beauty sellers might be able to answer that question. But my guess is toys go nuts. And to be honest, I'm not the guy to answer the beauty question. So somebody in the Facebook group probably be able to tell you that better than me, how beauty reacts at Christmas.
So many questions.
Huh?
There's so many questions.
Oh, I thought you said there isn't any questions. I was going to say, is that it? Right, well, we'll carry on. We'll carry on motoring on. So let's get to a couple more. I'll try and answer them quicker, guys.
How do you really know, Erica asked, how do you really know if a product is timeless or not? Couldn't some toys bought now be superseded by newer versions before Q4? For example, found a board game on sale today that is so popular, but what if it was rebranded before Christmas and therefore your stock becomes useless?
It doesn't become useless. That's the beauty of it, right? If a new version comes out, usually what will happen is Amazon will say there's a newer version of this product, and it might look almost the same. It might just have slightly different packaging or something. But the beauty of it is the two different listings. So there will still be existing demand for your old product and a new listing for the new product. So you can look on Keeper. As soon as a new product comes out, it doesn't mean you can't sell your product anymore. In fact, it's usually a good sign because it means there's probably not going to be any more sellers coming onto that listing once all the existing stock out in the marketplace has gone. So it can sometimes be a really good thing when that happens, but I wouldn't worry about it. There's lots of what ifs on Amazon. Some of it is a little bit of guesswork. Some of it is a bit of kind of just going for it and doing your best. Some of it is speculative. But in that certain circumstance, you can look at Keeper from previous years and see how it did. And like I say, the listing doesn't expire. So if there's a new version comes out, it'll be on a different listing and you'll still be able to sell your stock. Pardon me.
Mike asked, does Q4 demand apply equally throughout Europe, or are some countries better than others?
Q4 is likely to spike in a similar way across Amazon marketplaces. Having said that, for example, Spain, the demand in Spain is typically a bit rubbish for most things. So let's say we get 100% of sales just on this imaginary scale. Germany, I don't know exactly, I'm just guessing, but Germany might get 80% of the sales or 90%. I'm not sure exactly what it is, or 70%. France might get 60%. Spain's likely to get like 10% or 20% or something like that. So yes, you're going to get a spike across Europe. Everyone has, I assume everyone has Christmas. They all have Christmas. Yeah, you're going to get a spike across Europe, but it's going to be proportional to the existing demand all year round. Next question, go for it.
Jag asked, do you flip many products onto other EU markets? I don't know if you've already answered that.
No, we've not answered it. You can do. A lot of people do. A lot of people do Euro flipping. We don't do massive amounts of it, but we're only just getting back into online arbitrage in a big way because we're just starting to recruit VAs, and we've just took on Beck, who's a full-time. So we've been doing Shopify. We've been doing information products. We've been working on Secret Wealth projects. We've been doing all kinds of things, a bit property here and there. We've been doing lots of things. We're spinning loads of different plates, as I keep telling people, this spinning plates thing. We're still spinning too many plates.
In our house coats.
Huh?
In our
house coats. And we're still spinning loads of plates. Having said that, having Beck has really lifted a lot of the pressure on us. So we're hoping to get back into it in a big way. We don't do loads of flipping, but there's lots of people that do loads of Euro flips. So it's a good little strategy.
Darren asked, do you have any secret Christmas weapons up your sleeve, or do we just rely on FBA Wizard to find the best deals? Secret
Christmas weapons. If I had a secret Christmas weapon, I would be mental to tell 100 people on a webinar about it, because it wouldn't be much secret for much longer. But no, basically all the same things you know about: wholesalers, FBA Wizard, tactical arbitrage, all the usual stuff. Copy and paste sourcing is the biggest secret, I think, using a VA. If you've not got a VA, now's the time to start getting VAs, or start to look to get VAs. In fact, there's a service coming out in the next few weeks related to virtual assistants that you might want to wait for, because it's going to be amazing. It's going to blow you away. It's not my service, so I'm going to not say any more about it because I promised I wouldn't. But yeah, there's something coming related to VAs that's going to be very, very, very special. So if you want a secret, it's probably to get a VA and get them copy and paste sourcing for you.
I'm not sure if this question's almost the same, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
Chris Donnelly asked, do you have any special techniques for finding this year's top toy before it explodes. How do you keep your finger on the pulse for that?
Oh, difficult. So everybody else seems to know before me, so I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't watch the news. I don't read any newspapers. I don't listen to the radio news. I find it also negative. I've not watched the news in years, so I don't know what's happening in the world. So my guess is there's little articles that probably spike demand. Probably like the Sun newspaper in the UK or someone. Is this Sun even a newspaper anymore? The Mirror? I don't know. What
Yeah.
is it? The Sun? Is it? Is it? I don't know. See, I don't care what's happening in the world because it's all people doing horrible things to people. I'm not interested. Human beings are just zoning on bad news, and I'm just not interested. I stay away from it all. So it's probably going to be in news articles or online little things like that you find out. But I'm always the last person to know. So you probably know before me. Next question.
Mariama asked, do you cover sourcing in one-day training?
Oh yeah. We cover sourcing in the one-day training, definitely. It's a big part of it. We cover everything. It's a start to finish. If you're a beginner right now, it's start to finish. We go even into into details such as what a UPC is. Like you veterans, you'll all know what UPC is. UPC, EAN, ASIN, FBA, MF. All these weird little terms that you have no idea about, EFN, all these little terms, some of which I've used on here, we go into all of them. So the terminology, right from the start, the terminology, so you understand exactly, into sourcing, into prepping, into getting ungated. What else do we go into? We go into everything, literally analysing the deal. Did I say outsourcing? Literally using prep centers. Everything, start to finish, online arbitrage in one day. And that's what we filmed. And I'd like to think it was pretty good. And any questions you've got after that, well, if you're a paying customer, we're going to answer them anyway. So yeah, we go into it. We talk all about sourcing and stuff.
Anthony asked, what would be the highest sales rank you would go in toys during Q4?
Ooh, difficult. What would be the highest sales rank I'd go? Last year, we were going to about 160,000, but this is one of them topics whereby veteran sellers will be like going, no, I won't go that high. And then others will be going, ooh, I go 250,000. It's difficult. I would probably go based on keeper. It depends how fast you want things to sell. Obviously, if you stick to sub 50,000, it's going to sell like hotcakes, but you're not going to find as many deals. So it depends on how much capital you've got and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a how long's a piece of string. And so one seller will source at no more than 70,000. Others will say no more than 100,000. Others will say 150, 170, 200. I don't know anyone that's sourcing at $1 million or $500,000. You know, you're probably better off around 100,000 and below if you can. Maybe a little bit higher. It's down to the keeper, down to the individual deal. I would say BSR is a static number. It's crazy to judge it based on BSR alone. I mean, it might spike crazily just in a few weeks up until Christmas, for example. If it's like a Christmas-only product, people aren't going to be buying it like now. So the BSR might really spike then, and you might not see the deal now. So to a certain extent, maybe be a little bit loose with your search criteria, but be harsh with your due diligence, if that makes any sense. Next question. I'm going to try and motor through them. I don't want to lose you guys.
FBA Wizard or TA?
FBA Wizard or TA, that's a difficult one. I think both products have their strengths and weaknesses. I think Alex, who created Tactical Arbitrage, is working heavily on UK updates. I know he is. I spoke to him today, in fact. He's working on a lot of the things that UK sellers want to see. You might want to move that away.
I was just trying to get in the bin and it's making a lot of noise.
All right, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Nice. But yeah, I know Alex is working on a lot of UK features. Alex has got a very, very strong piece of software with Tactical Arbitrage. But FBA Wizard's amazing too. So I think FBA Wizard's easier to use, but Tactical Arbitrage has just had a facelift, and I really like the facelift. And now Alex is starting to do tutorial videos that are short videos for Tactical Arbitrage. It might kind of flip that balance. So right now, I can't tell you which one's best. It's worth trying them both. FBA Wizard has a 14-day money-back guarantee. Tactical Arbitrage has a 10-day free trial if you use the coupon code SWP VIP. So try them both, see which one you like best, and see which one works for you. When I've got a definite decision over which one I like best, I'll tell you, but until then, unfortunately, it is what it is. Next question.
Tristan asked, well, he said, thanks for the webinar, Matt. Regarding productivity, how long does it take you to find one good product for OA?
One good product, it really depends on the time of year, depends on what time of sales. I used to think online arbitrage, you'd be able to find 10 deals a day, no matter what. You just find 10 deals a day, but it doesn't work like that. For example, a lot of people smashed it in the recent Argos 3 for 2. Hate Argos. They wouldn't sell us even 6 units. Like, that's one of the issues. Some retailers are getting a bit anti-reseller, Argos being one of them. So they won't even sell us 3 units of 2 ASINs or 2 SKUs, which is annoying. But a lot of people did really well in Argos. But obviously, when there's a 3 for 2 sale on, there's loads of deals. And when the 3 for 2 deals are off, maybe there's not as many deals. So it's like a bus. You wait for ages for one to come along and they don't come. And then all of a sudden, like 3 all come at once. So it's a little bit like that. You've got to be patient and just kind of stick with it. Next question.
Kelly said, can you please explain the buy box?
I can explain the buy box for you. So basically, right, let's see how many people we've got. If you guys need to leave, I understand it. I'm just going to keep going with these questions for now because obviously you guys have got questions. You've been good enough to stick with me this long and you probably wait for your questions to be answered. So I'm going to do my best to answer a few more. We're not going to stay on until 11 o'clock, but we're going to try and blast through a few more of these questions. So I'm going to keep going because I want to give you guys as much value as possible. And then I realize it's not often that you get somebody willing to just sit in front of a camera and literally answer your questions, especially for free. So I like to do these things. I love doing it. I love giving back to you guys. I like to help. So that's hopefully what this is doing. So the buy box, basically, so on eBay, using my earlier example, on eBay, if you list something for sale, that is your listing. When that product sells, your listing goes non-live. You can't buy that product anymore. The listing's gone. On Amazon, it works differently. Amazon owns each listing. So they have a listing on their store. And when you say, I've got a product for sale, it's not your listing on Amazon. So when that item goes out of stock, you don't, sorry, let me close that. When that goes out of stock, when you go out of stock, the listing doesn't die on Amazon, it stays. So different sellers list their stock against that listing. So you don't create a listing as a seller. You say, I have stock of that listing. And then, because obviously Amazon might have 10 people with that same product. So how does Amazon decide when a customer comes along to buy, how does Amazon decide which buyer or which seller to let the product be sold by? So if there's 10 people or 5 people selling one item of a stock, how does it decide which of those 5 it sells to? It decides by something called the buy box. So the visitor comes to Amazon and whichever seller, so this seller maybe has the buy box, they get the sale if the customer purchases. So the buy box is decided by lots of different things, like I mentioned earlier. Usually it's mostly decided by price. So if this seller's the cheapest, typically they'll have most share of the buy box. So when the customer purchases a product from Amazon, this seller will sell if they're in the buy box. So if they've got the buy box, when the buyer buys, they sell their unit. And then maybe this guy gets the buy box. And if you match in price, usually you get a share of the buy box. If you're the cheapest seller, typically you'll get more of the buy box. But what happens is if there's 2 people trying the cheapest, then they fight against each other and it destroys the margin, and that can be a difficult situation to deal with. So that's what the buy box is. Hopefully that explanation covered it. If not, let me know and I'll try and do another video on YouTube or something and explain the buy box for you. Next question.
Brian asked, what can you do about brand gating?
What can you do about brand gating? Brand gating, really what you want to do is you want to get authorization by the brand owner. Sometimes you can get authorization by an authorized wholesaler. So basically, if you're brand gated, it can be very, very difficult. But sometimes you're not brand gated, you just think you are. Now, I'm not an expert in gating, Karen Summer is, and she's the one to really talk to about this stuff. But basically, if you get ungated in categories, it gives you the best chance of being ungated for the most things possible without directly approaching authorized distributors or brand owners or whatever of the product. So brand gating can be a bit difficult. I'm not an expert on it, but that's basically it. Try and get ungated as many categories as you can, and that's giving you a good head start on being able to sell most products possible. Next question, Hall. Blasting through them now.
Adam asked, would RA be better if you only have £1,000?
Maybe. The deals are good with RA. It's not my thing. I don't like the idea of driving around in a van or driving around in a car, especially since my car is really small. I don't fancy it. I mean, last year I was filling your car up, weren't I, last year? I was filling your car up with. I was filling everywhere up. I was doing a bit of RA last year. Or no, we was ordering online. No, we were doing OA and then picking up in store. So we were buying it online and then picking it up from the retail store. So I'd be coming out of Tesco with tons of toasters and all kinds of things. Like I did really well with these white toasters. Sold something like 25 really quick. Look at the fish. Look at her. What's she doing? Thinking about jumping up there. I don't think you'll make it, fish, but you can try. Oh, she heard me. Right. So yeah. So RA £1,000 possibly. You can start doing an OA in a decent way with £1,000. To be fair, but depends what your style is. RA probably has the most abundant deals if you know where to search and you don't mind running around with decent ROIs, because you get localized deals and things like that. But my preference is for OA just for ease. I want a laptop business to give me freedom. I don't want to be running around. But with £1,000 worth of stock, you'll probably cover it pretty quick. Look at fish. She's going to jump. She won't make it up there. It's too high.
She has done it before.
Has she?
She got stuck up there to get her back down.
Next question, Hall.
Erica asked, is this your first big online arbitrage thing you were talking about coming earlier?
Oh, no. This is not. Yeah, I told you about some big thing coming, some game changer. No, that's not this. That's not this. No, no, it's not this. This is not game changer. This will only be good for new people. If you're a new seller, this is a great course to run, to just get into it, to learn the whole process. It's not going to be game changing if you've been doing online arbitrage for 2-3 years. It's not going to be a game changer for you. But we have got a game changer for everybody. New people, old people, we've got a game changer coming. She did it. Did you see that jump? Like if I stand up, you'll see how. Oh no, it don't look that good, does it? Look at that. She jumped from here up there. Crazy cat.
She's going to be stuck now.
Right, next question, Hall.
Abdella asked, what are the criteria we need to know for winning product?
The criteria for a winning product. So the best winning products, you've got to look at keeper graph. You've got to see how it's sold. You don't want any new recent price spikes that create the arbitrage opportunity. Better to see a price that's decreased and still be an arbitrage opportunity than one that's increased. You want low BSR. So a 50,000 BSR is going to sell quicker than a 150,000 BSR. You want a decent ROI in there. So, you know, it depends what your expectations are. If you can get 50%, that's great. Realistically, if you can get 30%, that's also all right. So high ROI, low BSR, so faster selling. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next question.
Darren asked, is there a way of getting Amazon reviews? I've sold over 100 items, contacted them all by email, but still no reviews.
Really? 100 items sold and no reviews? That's surprising. Typically, I don't know what the review rate's running at by now, but I'd expect you to have got 1 or 2 in 100 units. What is she doing now? Look at the fish. I don't know if you guys can see her. It depends on which screen resolution you've got. I don't even know if you can see the fish, but she's... We'll get her on camera if she does something crazy anyway. Oh, she's going off camera now. She's shy. Got, what was it saying? Yeah, so what I was saying is you don't need reviews. For private label, it's really important to get reviews on your product.
I'm not sure if you mean...
I know you mean seller feedback. Yeah, you mean seller feedback, but it's now she's climbing on the door frame. Crazy cat. She's doing this because of camera. She don't do this when it's not camera. She wants to be famous.
She knows.
So you don't massively need a lot of seller feedback. It's handy to have a few just in case things go the wrong way against you. She's going to do the jump.
Crazy cat. Knock the mic off.
Don't knock my mic off or you're going in the blender, fish. Go on now. So yeah, you don't really need seller reviews. Don't worry about it too much. Definitely don't want to be emailing them. That's it's not going to make a massive difference to you. Just sell more products, and you'll organically get reviews. You'll organically get seller feedback. What you don't want kind of like bad seller feedback, but don't worry too much if you can't get a load of good seller feedback. It matters a lot more as a private label seller than an online arbitrager. You want a little bit if you can, but don't lose sleep over it. I don't email anyone for online arbitrage things. Seller feedback comes when it comes. Go for it, Hol.
Ashley asked, do you think the best stock to source for Q4 will be OA or RA?
Who knows? I know the RA sellers are doing well at the minute, but like I say, I don't want to be running around. So I think the best stock is the stock that everybody can't find. So searching in stores that aren't on the softwares is probably going to yield you better results. And obviously, RA, you can get localized offers and sales. So a local manager might be authorized to give a certain kind of discount on a product that other managers or other areas don't have. So you might get some decent deals on there. But I think a blend of the two makes most sense. Next question.
Frequently, I scan an item, but on Amazon it comes up as a different item or a different picture or description. Any advice apart from sell on eBay?
Say that again. Sorry.
Are you reading again?
No, I'm not reading again. You can answer this one if you want.
I think what you must be getting is mismatch items, which you just need to disregard and carry on. Would you say that that's right, or did you not understand?
I was thinking about something else, I think.
Frequently asked.
I was thinking about when we should end this. Like, I don't want it to go on too long.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. You just need to disregard the mismatches and carry on until you find a match.
I want to answer everyone's questions, but I don't want this. I don't want everyone to get bored.
Well, shall I carry on? Or?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Let's speed answers now. Speed answers.
When
right.
are you going to start doing the one-to-one intensive courses?
The one-to-one intensive courses, one-on-one. We're doing them already. We're doing one-on-one intensives. If you want to book one, there's a link you can go to book one on that link. That's probably still up in the. Hopefully, it's still up in the thing. So the pre-launch buy now. That link should link to the video course, but at the bottom of there, there's a one-day intensive thing. So you can either buy on there, or you can PM us on Facebook and talk to us, and we'll do a one-day intensive. We're doing a group intensive as well as part of that thing. So there's another group day that we've got scheduled in. I can't remember what date I said. Again, it's on that page, but we're going to schedule a group day in. So you guys can jump in. If you want to learn this stuff face-to-face, one-on-one, then you could do that. If you want to learn it in a group setting, which is really fun. It's really great because you get to network and meet loads of other like-minded people. The last one was so good. Really enjoyed it. But if you want to do that, you can do that too. Or if you just want to learn via video course, if you're a bit shy or something, that's fine. You know, all the options are covered, and you can go to that link and find them. Next question, Hol.
Is there one or more types of FBA accounts? Example, Amazon Pro, etc. If there is more than one, which one is better or best for a beginner? Right.
So there's basically a pay-as-you-go kind of option Amazon account, and then there's a pro. I think they call it a pro seller account. You need the pro seller account. The other one doesn't really work because I don't think it lets you be eligible for the buy box, or it didn't last time I knew. So you need the pro seller account. It's something like £20-something a month, maybe. So that's the one you have to go for. Next question.
James asked, hi, Matt, Holly, what would you say is the next best sourcing tool to invest in other than FBA Wizard? I'm struggling at the moment to find loads of profitable deals through FBA Wizard alone. Okay,
so the best tool you can get yourself is a virtual assistant. There's a couple of different ways to do that. If you want to recruit your own virtual assistant, you can do that by going to advancedarbitrage.com. That's advancedarbitrage.com, and that teaches you where to go to recruit one, how to pay them, how to manage them, what to tell them, and it even gives you the training to give to them. So you can literally put them through the training, and then they will we recruited one the other day, put her through training, and a day later she's perfect. She's amazing. So it literally does it for you. It tells you how to do everything. So that's advancedarbitrage.com. That's another paid course of mine. You don't need it, but that's in fact it's included in that options on that page as one of the packages. But you can go direct if you want. If you just want that, that's the single best way. Having said that, there is a VA service coming out soon that's going to be very, very, very special. I can't tell you too much about it. Like I say, we've got Sit Tight. It's going to be not too long now. And that's another option if you don't want to have to train one. Or if, I can't say too much because it gives the game away, and I promise not to. But basically, it might be worth waiting for that. Other than that, Tactical Arbitrage is another good tool. If you're not getting on with FBA Wizard, try Tactical Arbitrage. Like I say, SWP, VIP for a 10-day free trial if you want to try that, see if you get on with that any better. But other than that, copy and paste sourcing, you can get a free right-click app. I don't know what it's called. It's not got a very strong name, but on the Google Chrome extension store. In fact, it's on that link. It's at secretwealthproject.com. Do you know it? Go on then.
It's Amazonia right-click search. What you need to, if you're in the UK, you need to make sure that you download that Amazon.co.uk one.
Did you hear that? Amazonia right-click search it's called. But it's linked to from secretwealthproject.com/online arbitrage tools if you want to find it there as well. But I'm pretty sure I linked to it. Yep. Next.
Ryan said, my final question, and I'll shut up and enjoy the show.
Hopefully you're enjoying it. Hopefully I'm not gone on too long. Still got 76 people left. 76 soldiers. Go on. Sorry.
Are you done?
Yep, I'm done.
Video games, your thoughts on selling them?
Selling video games? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all right.
Cool.
Believe it or not, like video games that have got like numbers in them. So like, I don't know. I'm just going to say Sensible Soccer. That shows my age because I don't think that's a game nowadays. It's like from when I was a kid. But Sensible Soccer 2016 will probably still sell now. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's 2017 going into 2018, like the old games can still sell, and you can judge it on Keeper. So yeah, video games are all right.
I'm not sure if you'll know the answer to this one.
Well, don't ask me then.
Okay. I don't think. Joel said,
we don't want to do them all anyway. Just skip through a few now. I'll just give us a few next one. Might not get everyone's, but it's been a long one.
Well, I'm gonna have to read this one now because I just said his name.
Okay.
Would you recommend trying Euro flips, buying from Amazon UK and selling on the other sites? I'm considering trying it and would appreciate any insight. I think we might have already.
Yeah, we've already gone into Euro flips. Yeah, why not? We don't do a lot of it, but I know that Sean Mitchell, FBA Wizard creator, he likes Euro flips a lot, and I know there's a few other guys that get on with Euro flips. So yeah, why not?
Do you need a professional Amazon account to use FBA Wizard?
We've already covered that one. Yep, get it.
Can you explain why when I scan items on the Amazon seller app, it keeps giving multiple results? Because there are multiple listings for lots of items, even though there's not supposed to be, I assume.
Yeah, there you go. Next.
Done.
Oh, done. That was all the questions.
That was all the questions.
Excellent. Right. Okay. Well, that suits me. Don't take no more questions. Right. Okay. So I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to the 76 people that have stayed here till the end. I know you guys are the loyal commando soldiers, the SWP soldiers. I know you are the superstars of the Secret Wealth Project. Hey, if you didn't make it tonight and you're watching this in a replay, I understand you're a superstar too because you've watched till an hour and 45 or whatever. And I appreciate that massively, like you would never know. So I just want to thank everybody for just tuning in. You guys are absolute superstars. Thanks, Josie. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Yui. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Helen. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Gary says, great webinar, guys. Good night. Thank you, Gary. Sheila says, brilliant webinar. Really appreciate it. Tricia says, great show. Thanks. Ryan says, thanks, Matt and Ollie. Great webinar. Fantastic information. Amazing answers. Cheers, ducks. Darren says, thanks for asking my 5 questions. Wow, Darren, you got a little one-to-one there. Great webinar. Mariama says, thank you, Matt and Ollie. Danish says, amazing webinar, very informative. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys' kind words. It's very, very, very kind of you. Thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks.
I like my mum and dad, and they've been on the drive for about 20 minutes.
Oh, my God. Holly's mum and dad are here, and they've been on the drive for 20 minutes. Do you think they should... Do you think she's saying bye? Do you think they should come and say hello or not? No, you know what? I'll wind it up. I didn't realise they've been here. Okay, so thanks ever so much, guys, for coming. I can't wait for the next show. Trisha, I can't wait either. We'll have to do one again soon. Hopefully you got a lot of insight. I tried to pour my all. That is basically everything that I brainstormed that I could think of, that I learned from last year, mistakes, successes, everything. Tried to pour it all into one webinar. So hopefully you loved it. Hopefully you got some value from it, and hopefully you'll have an advantage over sellers that didn't watch it for this Q4. That's what I want from you guys. I want to look after you guys, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in and watched. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for adminning. Appreciate it a lot. Fish for an Oscar. Absolutely. And Darren's doing all right now. I appreciate that. Right, so thanks a lot. It's like a Grammy speech. I'm like on stage saying, thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much. But I do, yeah, you'll never know how much I appreciate you guys. I realize it's summer. I realize it's a 6-week holidays. I realize a lot of you, even on holiday, you're stuck with us, which is amazing. And again, anyone that watches this in the replay and watches till now, I appreciate you too. Keep smashing it, guys. Keep earning an amazing living online. We are going to win. You don't even know what I've got coming up. I can't even explain to you. I wish I could. I wish I could just fast forward time and let you know what's coming. Special things that other people in other groups that maybe don't like what we do or don't want to be part of us are going to be all like, oh, I wish I could be part of that because that's so special. But I can't tell you anymore. Let me just tell you, we play chess here at the Secret Wealth Project. I'm thinking 3-4 moves ahead. And let me tell you, that 3rd or 4th move ahead, very special. Going to be life-changing for a lot of you. Thanks again for tuning in. Sorry for making it a Grammy speech here at the end. Appreciate everyone. This will be on YouTube. Mo, thanks. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. God bless. Whatever else I'll say. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Bye. End event.